The Basketball Diaries. Before watching this, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but I can say that it really exceeded my expectations. This movie is great. It's one of those movies that will definitely keep you off drugs, and if you are on them, it'd definitely influence you to get off them, ASAP. The film is very dark and even disturbing. It deeply explores all the horrifying consequences of drug use to not only the individual, but also the people around them. Leonardo DiCaprio delivers a phenomenal performance, and I think it may very well be his best acting performance from the 1990s. Be cautioned that many aspects of this movie are shocking, but it is the purpose of the film and it helps get its important message across. This is a fantastic film and I highly recommend it. Point Break. I watched this today and I was quite surprised by how much I really liked it. It is a cop movie and I do like that genre quite a bit, but I didn't expect the story to feature surfers and focus on them in such a manner. I thought that it was a really nice addition. The action in this film is very good, the ending is fantastic, and there are a fair few hot chicks in here. But the film does have a couple of flaws. Keanu Reeves delivers a bit of a wooden performance, unfortunately, despite how likable his character is, and the love story is very cheesy and predictable. Overall, I do think that this is a great movie, and one that really defines 90s action movies. It's just not quite perfect. Romper Stomper. I'm actually a little bit unsure what to think of this film. It definitely has some very good qualities, but then there are sides to it which just bugged me a bit. Russell Crowe's performance is great, I will admit, but I have two main gripes with this. It has a non-existent plot, it's just kinda skinheads on the run, and that leads to my second gripe. In my opinion, none of these characters are likable. They are antisocial brutes who seem to destroy everything they see. They are skinheads, yes, so you would expect them to be brutal morons, but if you look at some of the better movies involving skinheads, like This Is England or American History X, you can see it is possible to characterize them. This is a good movie, but it isn't without factors that would make some people uncomfortable. Captain America: The First Avenger. I didn't have super high expectations for this one, but I was guessing it would be a pretty fun Marvel Comics movie, and it was. It's certainly not on the same grounds as Spider-Man or X-Men, but it has a likable superhero, great action sequences, nice effects, and definitely stands out as a Marvel movie given it has a World War II setting. I didn't think that the acting by Chris Evans was too good. I honestly thought he was kinda bland, and I didn't care for Hugo Weaving that much either, surprisingly. But they weren't so unlikable that the movie was ruined for me. I wasn't disappointed by this film, I knew not to expect that much, but it is good, so go see it, and I am looking forward to the sequel. 1900, or otherwise known as Novecento. I had really high hopes for this film. Going in, I thought I was going to see an epic that I was going to adore, and unfortunately that isn't quite what I got. Was it a bad movie? No, it just wasn't what I thought it would be. But it interested me when I found out later that despite its positive reputation, the critics weren't that happy with it. Gerard Depardieu, and I really do hope I've pronounced that correctly, and Robert De Niro deliver brilliant performances, and the direction by Bernardo Bertolucci is excellent, capturing a sort of dreamlike image of early 20th century Italy. The film is also very communist in nature, since it highlights the struggles of the working class against the oppressive landowners, many of whom are black shirts of Mussolini's fascist party. This is a 5-hour movie, and it held my attention without a problem, so if that doesn't highlight enough that it's a good film, I don't know what would. But I say see it, but don't expect the most perfect film ever. The Virgin Suicides. I was with my friends at JB Hi-Fi, and I saw this movie on DVD for $5. I couldn't resist. For a debut film by Sofia Coppola, this was quite good. The story is reasonably original, even though its execution seems very, very similar to American Beauty, and if you've seen both of those films, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But I thought this was an interesting look at the way teens experiment in things like drugs and sexuality, and it also studies how they relate to each other and their parents. It is a little bit disturbing, as some people have reported, but it didn't bother me all that much since I was focused on the positives like the great acting. In general, it's a different kind of teen film and a nice way for Sofia Coppola to start her directorial career. Tremors. I was keen on seeing a good old monster movie, and this one really entertained me. I must say that although the start of the film didn't interest me at all, I actually thought it started off very dull, but from about 20 minutes in, I was glued to the screen. The suspense is fantastic, and it's heightened by the great design of the creatures and how they hunt their victims, which I shouldn't talk about in case it may ruin the movie, but whatever. I also really like the performances by Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward. The character development is pretty lacking, but this isn't meant to be a character movie. This is one suspenseful monster movie that I definitely want to see again. It's just good old-fashioned fun. The Messenger. This is a really interesting film, and if you like war movies, then I think you should give this one a watch, even though it isn't part of that genre in the most straightforward sense. It deals with the dilemmas of the military officers who have to inform civilians of their relatives' deaths, and for a film about that, they have executed a very good story with strong characters. You really sympathize with these people due to the writing and the great lead performances by Ben Foster and Woody Harrelson, who, I must say, were really, really excellent. I don't know if I'd go as far as calling this a fantastic movie, but it is pretty good, so I'd say you should give it a go. A Serious Man. What more should I say about this film other than it was made by Joel and Ethan Coen? That should explain enough, but I'll indulge a bit anyway. What I really liked about it was that it does appear relatively simple on the surface, just a story about a middle-aged man having problems with his family and work, but the complexities beneath the surface regarding faith and finding meaning in one's life are just fantastic, and in some ways I still don't quite grasp them 100%. But even if you were completely clueless about this film's motivation and themes, it is still very entertaining. It has a fair few funny moments, it has awesome characters, and some surprises here and there. In my opinion, this is an underrated Coen film. Red Dog. I went into this expecting a really good film, but I was shocked at how much I actually really loved it. Yes, I love this film. It does start off kinda slow, but it doesn't take too long for it to become really interesting. There are plenty of laughs in it, but what is most surprising to me is that I actually shed a few tears by the end of it, admittedly, because of how sad it was. And this is a movie that focuses on a dog, for crying out loud, so that really says something. The narrative structure is also very good. A lot of it is told in flashback, which I feel was the best way to reveal how Red Dog's life was. If you don't know the true story of Red Dog, I'd say stay off reading it for a little while until you've seen the movie. It'd probably have a much greater effect on you then. Ultimately, as I said, I love this movie and I really didn't expect to. I'm planning on picking up the DVD soon to add to my collection, and I'd probably give it a solid 9 out of 10, and I'd probably say it's my personal favourite Australian film. Anyways guys, that's my video, I hope you enjoyed it, and take care.